Okay, everything going, Omar?
Yeah.
Okay, welcome, everybody. Thank you. I know I've already said thank you to y'all, but of course, here we are at the China reunion, with as many players as we could definitely get. But the good thing is that we have, for lack of numbers, we have great in quantity and quality. So those that are here, represent a great part of the show, of course. I'm not saying that anybody else doesn't, but okay. But if we can go around real quick and, have you introduce yourselves, and what, of course you're all in China, but introduce yourselves and kind of tell us a little bit about what you're doing these days. I want to start, I'll go in the order on my screen. So Frosti, what you up to these days?
Well, I'm living in California now, which is a pretty amazing place, especially right now when I can only walk around my house. But it's really beautiful down here. I'm actually married to a twin now. I heard that Jean Robert is married with twins, but yeah, I married a twin, and we all are living together right now. My wife and I started design company, and so we've been working on a bunch of different cool projects. We were in New York for a year where she started a sex company, and then I basically retired from being a stuntman to just work on it full time. We just made a new game that we released which you guys can play during quarantine. There's even free downloadable instructions for it. But just been really using this time right now to be with family and reconnect with everybody, which is awesome.
Awesome. If you have that link for that game, you can put it in the chat and the entire group of fans and stuff, and try to check that out. That's awesome. Hey, Sherea, what you been up to today?
So I'm still living in Atlanta. I actually work for Scholastic. You guys may be familiar with the book fair company. I help teachers and school districts across the country. And I'm actually working on my doctorate. I'm halfway through working on my doctorate right now. Yes, so I'm pretty busy with that. Dating too, how that goes. But traveling with family, Leslie, seeing family, friends. I've actually been back to China for vacation. Yes.
What? Why? Ew.
But we didn't go to Hong Kong. I was like, I've been there. We have to go somewhere else. I'm sorry, Shanghai and Beijing. We went to Hong Kong. But yeah, so life is good. I mean, I'm having fun. I'm, working a lot, in school, traveling. Life is good. I can't complain.
Excellent. Good to hear. Did you go back? You didn't go back and visit the old lean-to?
No, we actually went to like Hong Kong. Then we went over to Phuket and a couple other places. But I was like, we can't go where I've already been. And plus, half the places I wouldn't be able to get back to.
Great. Let's move on. Denise, how you been? What are you up to these days?
Oh, I'm good. I'm working at the golf course outside every day in the rain. I still get shutters and STPD and all that stuff. It's crazy. But yeah, no, just living the life. Seeing these guys every once in a while at all the events. I love it. Every time I see you guys, always hugs for every one of you.
Even me.
Even you, Leslie. You know.
Great. Good. Eric's coming in now, but let's go over to Jamie real quick. Jamie, how you been?
Good. How are y'all doing? Eric and I have been married, is it 11 years, Erik?
He's still connecting to audio.
I think we've been married 11 years. So it was 11 years in April. Our son is 9, which is really insane. I know. Doesn't that make you guys feel old? We have a kid that's 9 years old. We live in Charleston, and we also have a house in Pinehurst. So we go back and forth between the two homes, and we're renovating the home in Pinehurst right now, and it is a lot of work. It's 4,500 square feet. So we're probably going to work on it for like 3 years is what we're hoping to do. I have a marketing firm, and I run a lot of social media accounts for different businesses in Charleston. And Erik's a physician assistant. He works at Urgent Care, so he's dealing with all the COVID crap right now. And then we have a dog named Folly. She's a miniature Australian Shepherd. And that's pretty much where we're at. I travel a lot. I actually do travel writing, so I travel the country quite a bit.
Nice. 9-year-old. I got an 8-year-old, almost 9-year-old son as well. Just as a side note. That's great.
That's awesome.
Okay, Leslie, how you been?
I'm so good. So good. I live in Ogden, Utah, but we're literally in the process of moving to Heber City, which is just outside of Park City. Todd, we sold our house. Done. We
That's
move in
awesome.
June 5th. We just got approved for a rental while our house is being built. So empty nesters, except for in the summer. My daughter Peyton comes home then. You guys, you wouldn't feel old. Guess how my oldest is now?
Hey, Erik.
30. She's
30?
30. Like I was
Stop it.
8 when I was on Survivor, and my
I know.
oldest is 30. I feel so
Crazy.
so. But anyway, yeah, I do marketing and also community relations for a fitness studio in Heber City, and I also teach fitness classes. I love bar and kickboxing and all that fun stuff. So I stay active.
Bars. Oh, sorry.
I'm 51 now, so now I feel like I'm the old lady, but when I was 38 and on the show, I was called the old lady. So next time I see James, I'm going to bop him in the mouth because that was all him. But yeah, I'm good, really good.
You get old lady, and Denise gets a strong, good woman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not fair.
Hey, it's all about the do.
And that's what it is. I need to get a mullet. That's what it. Man,
That's it, man.
You're leaving that new beautiful house, Leslie?
you what?
You're leaving that new beautiful house?
Right.
Yeah, I know we're like ADD when it comes to homes. But when we moved to Utah, we weren't really sure where we wanted to move. We wanted to kind of get here and see where we gravitated, and we kept going over to Heber. So I got a job there a few months ago, and then the world ended.
Yeah.
So that was kind of put on hold, but I'm back now. So it's pretty cool, and we're excited to move.
Excellent. Peih-Gee, how you been? What are you been up to these days?
Guys. Not much. I just have the jewelry gig, which has kind of been put on hold because a lot of that involved traveling around the country, but I do have a website. Y'all can check it out. It is lowraterjewelry.com. I'll put it in the chat. I don't know, beyond that, what have I been working on? I live in LA. I live with my sister. We have a condo, and my cat, Butter, who's probably more famous than I am at this point. What else? Oh, I just started a new thing where I'm streaming board games with like reality people on Twitch.
Nice.
So we just had the first one today, so that'll be really fun. Like we played Secret Hitler. I know I'm friends with the creator, so he's the guy that created like Cards Against Humanity and all that stuff. He's also a huge Survivor fan. So he was like, let's play some of these games with survivors. And I was like, survivors are the best at board games because they're all about playing and strategy and talk and, So we did that today. That was really fun. You can find that on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/my first name, Peihgee. I've been getting like deeper and deeper into the whole like puzzle gaming world. I just started another Instagram where I'm reviewing them. So you can check that out. That is at Peih-Gee Plays. That is PEIHGEEPLAYS. And I just launched both of those like this week. So that's kind of the fun new thing that I've been working on. I guess throughout all of this is just finding fun stuff to do while I'm stuck at home. So if you're bored, come play, come play. Huh?
No League of Legends?
Also League of Legends. I'm also streaming some of that, but like partly like I like these board games because they're like interactive. I get to play with like other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just want something fun and like, yeah. So
That sounds awesome. But yeah, definitely put those links in the chat so the fans and everybody can check it out. Yeah.
Okay. Is it just the alt chat, the Zoom webinar chat? Is that where we should post everything?
Chat button at the bottom.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Just put that link in there. We got
Frosti.
Frosti.
List and attendees. There we go.
Your game is awesome. I've always tried to secretly nudge Todd and say we should bring Settlers of Catan to Hearts. Okay, let's move on then. Todd, how are you doing?
Hello. I am doing really well. I am, let's see, what have I been up to? Well, I finally got sober, so that was kind of awesome. And Since I've been sober, I have become engaged to get married. So that is set to happen in November. Peih-Gee actually designed and made our wedding rings. So that's awesome. Let's see. I live in Utah, so not far from Leslie. She's moving even closer to where I am, which is going to be fantastic. And then I started making custom Funko Pops, and it just kind of very recently exploded. And now that's what I do for my job is I make toys, and it's awesome.
They're
You're
so
so
good.
good
You're
at
so
it.
They're really good.
Very impressed.
You should be charging
Thank you.
more also. Just
I'm
Thanks.
really, I mean, I love it. I'm currently booked about 5.5 months worth of toy making, which is phenomenal and wonderful. But I do take orders. Basically, I just have people send me a picture of what they want to Todd's Pop Shop at gmail.com, and we will discuss it. If you want something for Christmas, it is time to get the order in.
I've got a great idea for one of the
Wow.
fans that's actually attending right now that I'll need to talk to you about. If you put your email down in the chat as well, that way people can contact you. And Leslie, I saw you put your kickboxing stuff in there as so
Yeah.
yeah, that's great
I have
too.
no idea how to do that, sir.
Somebody already put it in for you.
Oh yeah, Corey did it. Awesome.
For
Okay.
you.
So I guess somebody's doing it for you.
Thanks, Corey.
And
Thanks.
Good looking out.
congratulations on both the sobriety and your engagement. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
How is Jess?
Jess is fantastic. He's currently at work, and that's not so much fun, but you know, we got to do what we got to do.
Good, good. Erik, how you doing? Are you being safe driving there?
Yes, I pulled over. You'll be glad to know that I, as I'm trying to now figure out this whole Zoom thing on the phone, but I think I got it figured out. How is everybody? Good to see you guys. It's been like
See
literally
you. Erik, if you slide your finger over the screen, you can see us all.
yeah, I
Slide
figured that
right.
out a second ago.
Yeah.
If you guys see my picture drop out, it's because I'm just, exploring and trying to figure this thing out. But anyway,
I'm
yeah,
afraid to
everything's
touch anything.
I know, right?
I lose everybody. I don't know.
Eric
It's been
just painted
crazy.
our
Just-
house.
Erik painted
Yeah, it looked really good. I like the
Yeah.
white shingle.
We
Yeah, so I've continued working and on days off and been trying to renovate this house and painting a lot. So it's starting to look pretty good.
It is. You see it on Instagram. Jamie's Instagram. I've been following you guys because it's fascinating. I love it.
Yeah, it's great. The renovation thing, man, it's wild.
Yeah.
We went to put up a light fixture and took down the old one and found a 4-foot hole in our ceiling.
Oh my God.
Crazy stuff.
next one.
Yeah, I'm on that Marie Kondo right now. It's
Yeah.
all in the garage, going through every single box. Oh my
Dude.
God. I found the contract for Survivor, just this fat
have
stack
mine
of
too.
papers.
We have a
Yeah.
box of our Survivor stuff that we still haven't opened yet.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of the Chinese viruses in there.
It's,
been fermenting.
it's just growing out of there.
I mean, Todd got that. What, Todd? Remember Juanita?
Yeah, it was my parasite that was crawling up my leg for a year and a half. And
That was
Todd had
that
a
was the
Chinese
coronavirus.
parasite for a year and a half named Juanita, and I think you sent me a picture when it was on your bottom at one point.
it made its way to my butt.
Yeah.
Disgusting. It
I
was
remember something about a hair dryer or something, Todd.
yeah, I
Can
would
you
hold a
remind me
hair
of it?
dryer. The doctor was like, you need to burn it out. So I held a hair
Oh,
dryer to
God.
it, and it was just burning my skin. It was horrible.
So Erik, the last thing there is where are the curls? Where's your curls, man?
Oh man, well, believe it or not, they're starting to come back. But I've been keeping the hair pretty short there for a while, post Survivor. Back to the clean cut, Tried to get a haircut, get a real job, I guess you'd say. But this is actually my COVID due, so I haven't had a haircut in probably about 2.5, 3 months. So
Bro.
yeah, I'm usually about every 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's just going through the phases. It's starting to curl a little bit. You can't really tell at the moment. And I don't want to zoom in too much. You might see some gray hairs popping through it.
You still playing your music, Erik?
Yeah, I still play when I have a chance. It's been put on the back burner a little bit, but I've been able to find some time to play. Little side gigs still. I did a lot of gigs throughout PA school, and that was kind of helping because Jamie was still working full time and I was full-time student, but I was still able to play a little bit. And then as I got into the workforce and long work weeks, I put it on hold a bit, but I still find time here and there. I play acoustic guitar.
You teaching
I'll
opera?
find it. What's that now?
Are you teaching the kid?
Trying to. Yeah, he's got severe ADHD and he loves music, but it's all exciting and good until you actually sit down and try to get serious and like, all right, buddy, we got to practice. And he's like,
Yeah, I don't think so.
maybe later.
Forget
Maybe later.
that.
I miss you guys coming to Atlanta where I could watch you play, Eric.
I know.
Eric played a Harper's School fundraiser a few months ago.
Oh,
So that was cute.
That was fun, yeah. So, I think we did a good job. I think I always downplay myself so that people have low expectations. So then usually once I get up there and they're like, oh, you're actually pretty decent.
You guys are great.
yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I want to keep playing, I still play enough just to keep the chops up a little bit.
I did bring one more friend of Denise's here. I want to send I can't do screen sharing. Never mind, I can't do it. Omar's disabled my screen sharing. It's okay. I had a picture of your Balut, of a picture of Balut waiting for you there, but no, that's okay.
Can you see this? Wait.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start up with the questions. But before we start with the questions, I just wanted to start out the whole conversation with 2 words: Jean Robert. see what kind of reaction you get.
Supposed to say something.
All right, I love John Robert, but y'all remember his shoes?
Oh yeah.
Louboutins.
Please tell them what shoes he wore to Survivor.
The satin shirt and no underwear with jeans.
No undies, jeans, and weren't they Louis Vuittons?
There were Louboutins.
They were like $500 shoes or some shit.
More than
Way
that.
more than
More than that.
$500.
But not just one pair, 2 pairs. There were one that was like his like what he wore, and then the other were his running shoes.
Running shoes.
And
And why would you wear jeans with no undies?
I don't know. He was so chafed, bless his heart.
Love John Robert.
Let him walk around naked. We made him get in the water when he was naked. You're like, nope, put it away.
And try to lay close to us.
But let me just tell you something before we bash him too much, because we can do that, I'm sure. But he really had a good heart down in there. It's just when the cameras were rolling, he was just such a ham, and he would just be bigger than himself. When I would get him alone and we would talk, it was really nice. He's a good guy.
He's really nice, but he really is Erik. Like, that's his personality. Like, he is really full of himself.
Very arrogant. Yeah.
But in the funniest, best way ever. Like, I love him. Me and John Robert tried to escape. We ran away from Survivor, and we got in a lot of trouble. we ruined it. Like, it was like a $20,000 camera they ruined because they were chasing us in boats trying to catch us.
Are you serious?
They dropped the camera in the water. We got hell, man. It was so bad. It was my birthday, and I was kidnapped, and I didn't want to be there. So I convinced John Robert to escape with me and try to go back to my tribe.
Something about birthdays out there.
I know. I was like, John Robert, we got in that canoe, and we were like going, and then we realized we were nowhere near the other people. Like, nowhere. But we saw fire in the distance, so we were going to the fire, and they finally, they were so pissed, and they were, chasing us, and they finally, you assholes, that's not your tribe. And I was like, well, then what is it? And they were like, that's the crew. You're going to the crew. Turn around. I was like, oh, shit. We were miles away from each other. Like, we could have never found the other island.
You tried to roll back to us. That is the most adorable thing I've ever heard.
What?
I'm like, did you try to roll back?
I know, I missed y'all. I was like, they told me we were celebrating for my birthday. This is bullshit.
Okay, so let's go on with some questions now. I'll start with some questions, and then we'll hop into some of these, and then we'll also have the fans be asking questions in just a moment here on top of this. Let's see. Here's one that I particularly liked. How annoying is Jeff during challenges?
Oh, the worst.
I hated him.
You did. You did.
I hated Jeff Probst out there. Oh,
It's just like, stop talking. Like we're trying to
Are
play.
you hungry? What'd you have for lunch? You want to smell my breath? I had a cheeseburger.
He would talk shit all the time. It was like nonstop shit talking, and you couldn't yell back at him.
Unless
Or
you're
you
Courtney.
could.
Courtney did.
I did.
See, okay, I wasn't on long enough to like not like him. I was in awe of Jeff Probst, and I thought he was amazing. And I thought it was so cool when he'd said my name when I was doing stuff in challenges. I was like, listen, Jeff Probst said my name.
Your team always won and our team always lost. And he was always like, John who? Like totally out of it. Like so
Yeah,
far
he made
behind.
fun of us. I was
All
like,
the
get
time.
out here, little man, and see what you can do.
I've never seen a team do so bad
I
at
think
challenges. Like this is embarrassing.
It was more disconcerting in tribal because, you know, he could repeat himself. Like if he didn't get the line right, he'd be like, hold on, I'm insulting you and I want this to come off really well. So I'm going to do it again. And I need you to look surprised when I do it. So
Yeah.
let me just reframe this. And then Frosti, why do you think any of these decisions you're making are good at all for any reason? Oh shit. Sorry,
The
Jeff.
only time I
let you
liked
down.
him was when he called me the voice of reason. And I was like, all right, we're getting on better terms now. I'll take that.
Nice. I like that. There's this good one there with Jeff Probst because the reason my wife doesn't watch the show is because of Jeff. You know.
In real life, I love him. On the show, I've never disliked someone that much in my life.
But it's his job to get a reaction.
Right.
Even though it's annoying, but it's like the times when like I'm so upset and he's like, Peih-Gee, you look upset. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm like, don't cry. And he was like, you look so upset. And then it like the fifth
Y'all
time
remember when he threw my idol in the damn fire?
I thought that was amazing. I'm so glad you played that, by the way.
They made me play it. I had no choice. The producers told me to do that shit.
I know, but I'm so impressed that you did. Like I was like, that is so ballsy and why not? Like who cares? Like what if it is? Who knows? Whatever. Like,
I knew it wasn't, but they made it seem like they were gonna make it work. Assholes.
It wasn't the fleur-de-lis, so you know it might have worked.
That was pretty cool. I like
No,
that.
I stole the real one from James's bag and I got in trouble.
Yeah, you can't steal shit.
You're not allowed to steal, apparently. They didn't tell us that before the game.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. Next question we have is, and this is what I thought was kind of fun. Did everyone know about the budding romance between Jamie and Erik?
We knew on freaking Fei Long, and we weren't even over there.
True that.
Snapped me on day 8. I went over there and I was like, so. And what people don't realize is me and Jamie and Erik and Todd were in a cross-tribe alliance. Like
Yeah.
4 of us, and we were gonna like make sure that each one of us was the only ones that got kidnapped, so that we were the only ones that knew about the clue. I just got voted out. No, that's why Todd was upset when I got voted out. Like, dang it, we were gonna do that, but
It's true because I wanted more clues.
Yeah.
And as soon as you were gone, it was like, okay, well now we have to figure something else out. And then Dave came over, and that was just a hot mess.
I called Jamie and Erik out though. We went to the well. It was, remember, the 3 of us. You guys took me to the well, and I go, okay, so what's up with you 2? And they were like, what? Nothing. And I was like, whatever. I said, you guys are so stinking cute. I know you're in love, whatever. And so I saw them looking at each other even before the game started, before we even talked. I wrote it in my journal and I read it at their wedding. That's how like obvious it was to me. So it was pretty cool.
And
I'm
of course,
curious, when did you guys know?
Yeah.
Who you want me to go first, Jamie?
Yeah, you go first.
All right. I think there was a very early connection because once we discovered that we were from the same area, that was like an instant connection, and then there was a physical attraction, and we just kind of early on just trusted each other, and then it just kind of grew from there. And obviously we had an alliance, we had a friendship, and then there was attraction. So we had a lot of the ingredients for a budding romance, I guess. But that first tribal council, after Jamie got voted off, she came all dolled up to the tribal council. I was like, dang, good. So
adorable.
So that kind of really knocked it out of the park. I was kind of like, wow, and so I saw her in that light too. But so we'd already seen each other in every other aspect, pretty much at our worst physically, and and so that was my story. And then we just decided to kind of keep hanging out after that, and it kept growing. And next thing you know, engaged, married, and got a kid.
Well, then we got to follow that question up with Erik. Are you still a virgin?
I think it's a little obvious. Hello.
Yes, I am.
that final reunion was probably one of the tackiest that pros ever had. You know, asking.
Oh man, yeah, that was pretty shocking.
It's like,
but hey, it is
Our
what it is.
reunion kind of sucked. I didn't like it. Like, I didn't think it was fun.
yeah. Well, he asked about Courtney, asking Courtney if she was bulimic or anorexic on live TV too. I'm like, are you kidding me? You know, and asking you if you were a virgin. Anyhow, I'll get past that.
Inappropriate.
Yeah. Jeff again.
Great, but it's great you two are together. You know, it was fun to see that one of your first dates was dressed up in the Chinese armor with the spear or the bolo, whatever those things were and stuff. It's like you can go back and say, hey, that was one of our first dates.
Well, they actually filmed us the first time we spoke because we were going up those damn steps. Y'all remember that?
Our suitcases,
Oh,
yeah.
And that was the first time me and Erik ever talked, and I think they caught that when we were walking up. So I want to show Harper. I think he's getting old enough where we can like let him watch it and everything. So I think that's kind of cool just to be able to show Harper, like, this is the first time your mom and dad ever spoke to each other.
Yeah.
My son actually asked today if he can watch, because I was watching a couple of YouTube videos on your season. He's like, can I watch Survivor China with you? It's like, I just finished rewatching it. You know, we watched Amazing Race together though. Let's see. Here's another question here. I thought this is a good one. Can you take me through a typical day on the of the show? You know, as fans, we only see 45 minutes or so of a week's worth of action. What is it actually like on a day-to-day basis? I mean, and how boring is it? How much work is it? That kind of stuff.
So boring.
Boring is the word.
It is.
Boring. Long.
Fantasy food camp.
Y'all, this quarantine ain't shit. Go on Survivor and see how you feel.
Yeah, I would wake up every single morning and just sit on a log for about 2 hours, just like wishing I had coffee, and didn't want to talk to me until after I was like over that moment. And then I would start to go, instead of like the kitchen area, I would go down by Adult Swim or to Tree Mail. I mean, like there was nothing to do.
Nothing.
Yeah.
He had the worst location, I still think, of like all time. It sucked. It was monsoon season. So it would rain and we all got trench foot where your skin actually peels apart. And then it was like, wasn't it 118 degrees one day or something crazy? Yeah. We had to stay in the water, which was like hot, but we literally couldn't even get out because we thought we were going to die. Like there were multiple moments I thought I was going to die out there.
Yeah.
Well, and it was like 60 degrees at night. And so shivering.
We were shivering. And the mosquitoes in the ear.
The orange bumblebees. Y'all remember the orange? And the freaking rattlesnakes. You could
think those are murder hornets.
Rattle at night.
Murder hornets.
Cicadas.
Actually, Erik, I took a picture of the screenshot of it when they were filming one of them. You know, and I think you're right. I think it's a murder hornet.
Yeah.
Murder hornet.
And we didn't have food like in the later seasons. Everybody gets a lot of food. We had a little rice that goes bad.
Ours was molded on the day one. Like we had molded rice and we'd have to take each damn. I remember Peih-Gee would sit there and pull the rice out and pull the mold off every strain of rice.
I was gonna eat the moldy rice, and Sherea was like, "I ain't eating no moldy rice," and so we had to sit there. And I was about to just eat the whole damn thing with like mold and all.
Dude, when we got James, do y'all remember when he dropped our last ration of rice?
He dropped the rice in.
We ate it out of the dirt.
And I ate it out of the dirt. Yes. Yes. We ate it out of the dirt. I remember.
I thought he did it on purpose. I thought he was like attacking John Who, and he like poured out. Then I realized he was just as hungry as we were, and it was just like accidental. But it was like I remember the grit of the mud in my mouth when we were eating that last ration of rice. And we would dive down, and I would get snails, and we would actually boil the snails in the rice. Do y'all remember this?
I do remember that. Yeah.
And the pregnant snails, when you ate them, you'd actually crunch into the baby.
Oh, Jamie.
Inside.
God damn.
The snails were good. They were better than the clams.
Well,
I like the clams.
That is a nice texture.
I think Peih-Gee and Erik, didn't you guys bring back like pistachios in your pockets? And we would pass around the shells just to suck the salt off.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we had
That's right.
we had the kidnapping challenge, and the two, like, when James and Aaron came over and there was a fruit basket, like, I remember we ate the entire pineapple. We ate the skin and everything.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Do you remember that? Like, we were so hungry, and I was like, I need fiber.
Dude,
Yeah.
do you remember James went and found sticks and he'd smash snakes and kill them and bring them back? And they wouldn't let us eat them. They said we would die because they were poisonous. And we were like, you don't let us eat the snakes.
I ate a
The
frog.
bamboo vipers.
Yeah, bamboo vipers. He wasn't scared of that shit. James is not human.
No, he's
Erik, do you remember when we ate the frog? That was the best thing I'd ever had in my life.
Yeah, that was like the food highlight of my entire Survivor experience. Tasted like chicken.
It was like one tiny little frog, and it was smoky, and it tasted like barbecue. You
It tasted so good, but there was literally like a
One
tenth
bite.
of an ounce of food. It was like, oh, this is so. I just like kept chewing it very slowly, you know, like tried to
and
make
then
it last.
I tried to eat the body, and it's like full of bile. Like the only thing you can eat are the
Oh.
legs, right? Like I tried because I was so hungry. I was like, maybe I can just eat a little bit of the body. It was awful.
Clearly we were bored because food was the highlight.
I got a berry that I found in the woods, and I remember my tongue went numb, and I thought I was gonna die because I couldn't
Yeah.
move my tongue
Don't
for
eat
like
that.
an hour.
The wild kiwis. They were like, they would make your whole body, like neck and throat go numb.
Yeah.
And
Okay, but Erik, do you remember when my dad got us the Kit Kat?
I do remember that. Your dad was like the hero.
Ants
That was
carried
really
away
good.
the wrapper.
was it a
And
challenge?
the family visit, my dad snuck me a Kit Kat.
Oh my
Like,
Nice.
He like had it in his pocket, and then when we hugged, he like slipped it in my back pocket. And I remember sitting there thinking, do I share this or not? And like I really didn't want to. I wanted to eat the whole thing, but I also felt so like bad. Like I felt so bad for all of us. I was like, how can you not share this?
Now, Eric,
Why,
Perspective is so different.
Do you remember when James was able to steal water from the crew? He like found the film crew's cooler, and we got in
Sounds
trouble.
Gatorade.
Remember that?
It was Gatorade.
Gatorade, that's what it was. And yeah, and he stole it somehow.
He
And we
filled a
got-
I
canteen
got
with
some.
like blue Gatorade.
Twice.
We're
Twice?
Yeah.
hungry survivors.
one
That's
last.
bullshit. Oh, I can't really talk. I got something too.
We'll do one last bit about food here, and then we'll move on to one more question, and then we'll start opening up to the fans too. If that's okay. I was actually talking to Frosti about this before, and Erik, but you guys had some food. You had some eggs, right? They might have been a few,
Yeah.
old, but there were eggs.
Balut.
Oh,
Denise,
Denise?
Yeah.
What is
Frosty
wrong
and I
with
got
you,
to eat the
Jason? Did I not
thousand-year-old
just
egg.
already discuss this
Yeah.
with you? That's nasty shit.
Denise.
So the fans don't know, Denise doesn't even like to eat regular eggs like in her regular life.
Thank
Like-
you.
Like a hard-boiled egg, a fried
No,
egg,
mine.
scrambled egg. So imagine someone who's already
Disgusting.
disgusted.
It's my worst nightmare. You crack the egg, there's an abortion chicken in there. The worst nightmare. What happens? They want me to eat the fucking thing. Wrong.
it had the feathers still on
It
it.
did. It did. I remember saying I'm not
Yes.
doing a food challenge. I remember that.
I ate mine, and I ate it fast, and I had to crack through the eel skull.
Oh, that was
I remember,
nasty,
like,
Jamie. That was nasty. I could hear it crack from when we were sitting over on the bench.
It smelled so bad, I had to spin in circles because I was gagging. I was trying to get the scent to go away, so I was spinning in circles eating the eel.
Ames was trying to let me win, and I still couldn't choke that
They
shit.
tried to let. I remember that.
I couldn't. I was like scraping the puke off the
Oh.
trying to lick it back on.
Oh, God.
Nasty.
Okay, I'm going to ask one more question from the list of questions I have. I apologize to the people that wrote in. I didn't get the questions to yet, but I want to ask one more here. Then I want to open it up to who's with us. So the question I have is, how do you think today's game compares to when you played? For example, players are now allowed back into the game after being voted out. The lack of the group
Bullshit.
challenges with
Bullshit.
tribal council, etc.
Bullshit.
It's not Survivor anymore. I'm sorry, but they don't even understand it. I can't even like relate to the people on it now because I'm like, we almost died like 4 times. Like you guys get like
Remember when
killed.
Erik stuck his hand in the viper nest and they didn't tell us because it was good TV?
Dude, I had a bamboo viper go over my toes.
Shit, it's we had that multi crate go across the path when we were going to tribal council, and they had a snake wrangler trying to pull it out of the woods.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all remember this, but like on day 3, our thunderstorm was so bad.
I remember.
We were crying, like everybody jumped, like bawling. We were huddled up in a circle, and the film crew, the producers, they left us. They thought they were gonna die.
They left us too.
It was really bad. It was really bad.
I mean, that was like,
we're out of here.
it was like, I'm gonna fall until I like just die out here.
There was a challenge where Sherea just collapsed to the ground after the challenge.
Her eyes rolled in the back of her head.
That was the one we had to like pull. I forgot what it was. We were pulling something.
Yeah, it's a puzzle.
Yeah.
She got heat stroke out there. Her eyes literally, I started crying. Her eyes were rolling in the back of her head, and I started like bawling. I was like, y'all help her. I was screaming.
Exhausted. Because we were like the first cast to get water behind the scenes, right?
They had to give it to us because they gave you one, so they had to give each one of us a bottle of water.
Yeah. I don't like the fire tokens from this last season. I liked when they went to different places. I get why they don't, but we had the elements too that added to the game that other seasons don't have it, you know, and they're just kind of, I think, taken away from the authenticity of like building the relationships and how hard that actually is, you know, to build relationships with people and be in, you know, out there in the mud, in the rain. I just feel like they have it easier. I mean, some people I heard have gained weight on the show now. Whereas they have so much food. Yes.
That's crazy.
We had it tough.
Hey, how much did y'all all lose? I lost 20 pounds in 21 days.
I was 25.
Yeah, I was about 20 pounds.
17.
I was 35.
I lost about 30.
27 for me.
27, jeez.
We were sick.
I didn't poop for 4 days.
9 days, you guys. I was so sick. And like, they didn't show that a lot, but I had diarrhea coming down my leg. Like, all. Do you guys remember that? You guys
Ashley was sick. Ashley was sick. Really sick.
Y'all remember, whoever made it to Merge, do you remember how sick we felt after we ate the Merge feast?
That was the first time I pooped the entire time I was there.
Yeah.
I pooped in softball.
Yeah.
None of us pooped on our season.
But
For
remember
like
we used to
20
count
Yeah.
down?
Until the Charmin challenge.
And then
2 weeks and no poop.
I don't know who was just there, but oh my God.
Try it out with a stick.
Okay, I had
Every day, the doctors would come to us and they'd be like, have you
Did I get
pooped
a
yet?
laxative?
Well, some of us after the show, Leslie, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you guys this. I was in the bathtub for like 24 hours.
You guys, you sound like you were in labor.
That's what it felt like. It was
I was
bad.
teaching her Lamaze. She was like, I'm giving birth.
And the doctor, remember the doctor came and I was so embarrassed. And I was just like, at this point, I was like on all fours. I was just like, get it out of me, figure it out. It was bad.
Meanwhile, I've got diarrhea.
Yeah.
We were clear hair.
So I don't know if any
I
of
heard her.
they got sick like we did, but it was bad.
That was bad.
Okay, great.
Let's talk more about that now.
This is what the people really want. I mean, this is what they want.
Oh, they're getting it.
Dude, you know what was crazy too? Did anyone remember James's cankles when he had no ankles left?
I don't
I remember after the game, he was eating and his belly started here.
His belly came up and then he lost his ankles. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Was that after he started eating? When he was
I don't know. I don't know what happened, but when he got
eating.
voted off right near me, and like it took days for his ankles to come back.
Okay, so let's see if we can get some fans in here. Omar, you said you're going to release them out to the.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start with Corey. He raised his hand first, and I'm going to bring Corey in, and then he'll ask us question, chat for a few minutes, and then I'll put him back in attendees and bring the next person in. We'll just kind of keep it going like that. So it's nice and clean. It just takes 1 second for them to pop up. It should come any second now. There's
Corey Tuckwell. I love Corey.
Corey's the best.
Hey.
Hey, Corey, what's up?
Hey.
Look at the shirt.
Oh, I love that.
I don't see it.
Ooh.
Whoop,
I love
whoop.
it. Yay!
Yay.
We can't hear him.
Your audio.
Well, I have him unmuted. He's not.
Nope.
Or we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, this is my niece Molly. She's a big fan as well. She
Hi,
is 10 years old.
Molly.
Welcome.
Hello.
So I am a future castaway of Fans versus Favorite. I'm going to be up there with Todd, and I'm going to do something y'all never were able to do and vote his ass out.
Tried, believe me.
Peih-Gee tried many, many, many times. But I couldn't let you because you would have won, so no.
Also, you're gonna let Todd win instead? Don't you
I
want
was trying. Well, now they have the fire challenge, don't they? That's fucked up shit. I'm just saying that should have been me, dude. I would have fucking kicked your ass. I would have won.
It's true.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. You know it too, man. I still love you though.
I still love you.
Serve it, man.
So Corey, did you have a question?
Serve it, man.
Yes. Well, first I had a statement really quick. Thank y'all so much for doing this. It's great to see all of y'all. Like I said, I've been watching Survivor since day one. I've met several of y'all through different events and kept in touch. But Molly's been watching for the past couple years. We go to her house, which is my sister's, every Wednesday and have Survivor night, family night. We eat dinner, play games. And so she's been hearing me talk about Todd for 2 years. And she was like, all right, she's spending the night tonight. She was like, let's watch Survivor China so I can see what this is all about. Watched the first 3 episodes. And I was like, all right, Molly, who's your favorite? Hoping she would say Todd and
Lovely niece.
Oh, that's so
There you
sweet.
Oh,
There you go, Leslie.
You just made Leslie's day, Molly.
Yeah.
You just
I was
made
like,
her
that's my
day.
bus riding partner in Florida. I love her.
It was so sad when they voted me out.
Yes.
So
That we
sad.
just watched that before we joined. We watched your torch being snuffed. Sorry.
Oh, so sad.
Oh,
I
that
gotta
I
tell you.
hugged every single person before I left. They didn't show it, but I
But
hugged everyone.
my question pertains to that episode, that immunity challenge. Whose decision was it to let Courtney participate trying to chop that wood? Why didn't they put her in the puzzle?
That was really Jean Robert and James. Because they were 100% positive that Courtney was going to be able to chop it, and they knew that I was like the puzzle guy, and I was like, have me chop and put her on the puzzle, or Jean Robert chop and have her on the puzzle. But Jean Robert was like, no, that's heavy, and I'm going to be the one that drags it.
Oh, because of Java Bear's laziness. This is amazing.
It was really Jean Robert, James, and Aaron who pushed to have Courtney chop.
It was hard to watch her chopping.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was crying for her.
Yeah.
I
Aaron
really
is
was,
supposed
man.
to be
And
the
I was crying
leader.
for 2 days later
Who
with your
chopped on
hands
our
were all
side?
like falling apart too, man. That was awesome.
So it was Sherea and Dave that did the puzzle. And everyone else
Sherea's the one that pulled the thing across and passed out and nearly died.
That's the one, yes.
Can we
And
have,
she did the puzzle too. She did most of the puzzle.
Yeah, she did.
we have a moment of silence for that moment where everybody kind of stopped? When
Yeah, I was noticing that this time. That was funny. But look, they
It
didn't
wasn't
get to
that
stop
funny.
on Courtney because she was going so slow. It was almost like she was stopped anyway.
And she really was upset. Like, that broke my heart. She kept
Yeah,
looking
it was hard.
She kept trying though. That she didn't give up. I give her props for
Yeah.
that. That's why
She
I
ended
voted
up having
for
to
her.
saw it. Like
Stop and saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
she got it. She got it in the end.
Yeah, I love Courtney. Love her.
Thank you, Corey. Great question.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Corey.
Thanks, Corey.
Always good to see
Molly.
y'all.
Coming on.
Love you, Molly.
Love you, Corey.
I'll see y'all on TV.
Yeah.
We watching.
I talked
All
with
right.
Leslie about her eviction last week too, as well. And it's like in the brief time that she was on the show, she made a huge impression. And obviously with your niece there, that's a clear indication of that.
Bring her back, Jeff.
Bring me back. I'll
Bring me back. I'll fight you for it.
No, man. I'll win.
Hey, Omar,
Yeah, hell of a shot. I'm sure of that, Leslie.
We're on their way.
I love you, kid.
Marco.
Hello.
Hello.
Nano.
Oh, howdy.
Oh, hey, I recognize that name.
Hey. I mean, I'm in your stream a lot, so I'd hope so.
Thank you, sir. Yes, you
All
are.
right. So first of all, I want to start with a statement that Jamie and Peih-Gee were two of my favorite players of all time. I think I've said that to Peih-Gee like 5 times because I'm like all of these things. But Jamie's. So my question is for Jamie, Peih-Gee, Denise, Erik, and Frosti. I think we're all the jurors. So I heard somewhere that people in the jury were actually rooting, like thinking we're gonna vote for Amanda till Todd like killed it with a jury speech. Is there any truth to that, or?
I was always going to vote for Todd, but I think a lot of people were mad at him because he was like the ruthless one, and Amanda was just like the doe-eyed deer out there, just, you know, happy. And so I think, I mean, she was really bad at tribal.
So bad.
She was so bad. It hurt to watch her like at tribal. It was rough. And Todd just like killed it because like he'd been training that for his whole life. You know, I mean, like he probably knew like 5 years prior what he was going to say at that very moment.
Stop it.
Like,
You're not wrong, but stop.
seriously. And so I think when you saw that too, you just realized like how much Todd wanted it and how like this was like a part of him and a part of his life. And it just like, it almost like I could not vote for him at that point.
It was clear to me from the day that we merged that Todd was running the whole show. So I was like, I don't know why people aren't going to vote him off because he's clearly going to win. I actually went into tribal a little bit conflicted because I was like, I spent a couple days with Amanda and I was like, Amanda's doing a lot. She's just not showing it, but she's still, you know, making some good decisions. And I wasn't going to vote. Courtney wasn't even a blip on my radar. We went into tribal. I ended up being torn between Todd and Amanda. And at the end of tribal, I was like, I don't know if I want to vote for Courtney. Like, she actually had a pretty solid, like, speech and everything, just with, like, she wasn't really like, I played you all, but a little bit. She's like, I actually did want to be here, but I knew my best route to getting here was to kind of be, like, the slow burner, right, and support these guys. And I was like, she's really good. But ultimately, of course, I think Todd played the best game, so that's what I voted
I
for.
thought Courtney crushed her final tribal. I thought for sure that she won because she crushed it. So anyway, sorry. The question's not for me. Continue.
But I do agree. I think I didn't really expect to even be considering Courtney until tribal council. But undoubtedly after, I think, talking to each of the people and hearing what everyone had to say, Todd had the most clear plan that he executed pretty much flawlessly. You know, what you set out to do, you did. And I think that's a hard thing to argue with. You know, everybody who adapted and figured things out and made it work, that's all true. But it's really difficult to go into such a insane situation and be like, I know exactly what to do. And that was really, I think the deciding thing for me.
I want to hear from Erik and Denise. I'm so curious.
Did y'all vote for Todd?
No.
I'll go. I think I was the only person to vote for Amanda. So going into the final vote, I mean, obviously I felt like Todd had played a wonderful game. I mean, I was impressed, and he had a wonderful speech at the end of the final speech. Courtney, love her. I love Courtney on the show. I guess the whole time I felt like she sort of had a stroke of luck and ended up in the top 3, although you could argue either way, you know, you could argue it was strategic as well. And then Amanda, I thought, was more strategic than people gave her credit for. So honestly, going into the final tribal, I was kind of thinking it was going to be between Todd and Amanda. And I agree, like, Amanda completely botched her her final speech. So, and then I think maybe I just kind of felt bad because I felt like she actually played a better game than her final words portrayed. But, you know, based on the final words, I mean, Todd really crushed it, and Courtney did pretty well too. I don't know. I just felt like it. I felt like maybe I just felt bad for Amanda in the end. I don't know.
Denise, how about you?
What was the question?
Who'd you vote for?
I voted for Courtney.
You want to go ahead and repeat that?
Yeah, I know. You know why I voted for Courtney? Okay, because like 3 things. All right. Todd and I and Courtney and Amanda all had a Final Four alliance thing going, and we were supposed to go to the fire challenge. And then Amanda got scared because Todd talked her into being scared, and she was such a doe in the headlights that she couldn't deal with the shit. So whatever, but I had told her if we didn't go to the Final Four, I was voting for Courtney because Courtney played an amazing game. No matter what you say, she fought through that freaking thing. She had those cuts on her hand. She was out there. She was fighting. She was fighting with JR the entire time. The entire time. It was entertaining at times, and it was scary at other times. Let me tell you, because it was funny. And I just sat back and watched the whole thing. But I tell you, I mean, Amanda and I, we fought the same fight. Every decision was her and I, and then she'd go to Todd, and then it was like whatever. But I'm telling you, I would vote for Courtney again anytime because she deserved it.
Great. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks,
For your
Marco.
question.
Thank you for the question, Marco. Yeah, I actually talked with Todd earlier this week. I messaged him earlier this week because I obviously was watching the season this last week to catch up again. And I asked him, I said, as soon as Erik was voted out, did he know he clinched the win? Because I mean, basically, I think Erik was one of the last, I don't want to say last challenges to him by any means, but Erik was the last nice guy that that everybody would have voted for, kind of thing. So I asked Todd if that was the clincher for him. And Todd, would you say?
Sorry, like if who I would have voted for?
No. When Erik was voted out, if that was the moment that you knew that you'd won the
Oh no, absolutely not. I knew I would make it all the way to the end. I mean, I had a feeling, but I still thought Courtney was going to take it.
We at Ponderosa decided if Erik made it, he was going to win. Ponderosa had already decided if Erik made it, he was.
Yeah, because Peih-Gee kept approaching me, me and Erik. She's like, "I guarantee you the final 3." Even if I went to the final 3, there was no way I would have beat Peih-Gee. Never in a million years. All of her folks were on that jury. There's not a chance. My only chance was going to the fire challenge.
Won, not me.
You would have won. Don't even fucking kid me, because you know it's true.
You have a friend here who has
And I also apologize to all of you guys for making you cross off the last day you were there. I'm sorry. But if any of you noticed, the last day when you were getting voted out, I said, why don't you go cross off the number on the poll? Sorry, Todd, but it's a
I
true
didn't know
statement.
that.
No,
Why
but
are
ask
you
Erik.
apologizing
Erik,
to
what
me?
day did you get voted off? Did you cross off your number?
Day 33.
Did you cross off your number?
I
Todd,
don't remember.
I mean, Frosti, you crossed off your
I'm
number,
sure
right?
I did. Yeah.
Peih-Gee,
Thanks
did
a
you
lot.
cross off your number?
I don't remember.
Yes, you all did. Just saying it out loud. Sorry, guys.
Just so you
Sorry.
know.
Sorry,
Guys,
I tried to tell you. It was a warning. I tried to let you know.
So Jose, I'm assuming you have a question.
Yeah, so I didn't want to interrupt. I was like, this is fascinating. Hi, you guys. So China is one of my favorite seasons, and you guys had a lot to do with it. So hearts to everyone. And like you guys were mentioning, one of the reasons why I think a lot of people love this season is the cultural aspect that we don't see in the new seasons now. We got to learn as a viewer, as a fan, the cultural side of China and the location. So my question for anyone who wants to answer, you guys as players, you also got to be involved in some of those cultural aspects. Like you went to visit the temple in the first day, and then I believe, if I'm not wrong, each tribe got a copy of like the Art of War. So did any of these parts of the game, of the cultural side, have an impact in your game, or was that like, oh, it's part of it?
Yeah, I won a reward because it was Chinese knowledge, so I will say thumbs up to cultural.
Thank you so much, Peih-Gee.
You won
Forever and
2
ever,
challenges because of
Honestly,
Chinese knowledge.
I won. What was the other one?
The one that I lost, where you had to do
Very
the
well in
tour.
China when we went on there, TD.
Oh, the obstacle course.
Yeah.
I get, you know, that last one, the last question I totally guessed on.
Oh, okay, fine. But no, to answer the question though, I've always said that I used to feel like the location was almost like a cast member because it was so much cultural things going on. You know, like in Africa, they had the freaking lions, and you know, Vanuatu, they would drink the stuff at the beginning, and then the skulls. I mean, it was such a huge thing. And you know, in China, in my final travel speech, part of it that Peih-Gee brought up was art of war. So, you know, reading into the scrolls and stuff that we got, that helped with part of my answer. So yeah, I would say it was definitely a huge part of the game. I mean, it's a whole lot better than being like, yeah, I'm on, you know, freaking Ghost Island where they have to bring back all of the cool stuff from our season to make their season entertaining at all.
I hated it because I wanted an island. Like I wanted coconuts.
Thank you.
I just wanted an ocean and fish. I wanted
a mud pit in the middle
I can
of
tell you guys, it sucks.
What?
Like the salt water, living in the sand, it's actually almost worse. I think I actually prefer the land, like having fresh water.
Did you have food?
Yeah, but you don't get chafed with the sea salt in the
No, you do. You do. The salt water is really harsh on your skin, and the sand is the worst. Like you can't get any of it out of anywhere. You're covered in sand and like salt water, and you can't rinse it off.
I know, but we like literally had nothing to catch.
I know. There was a little bit more food on tropical. That is true. I think the conditions like on your skin and your body, I actually think that I like the freshwater better than, you know, there's pluses and minuses.
Both, yeah.
All I know is James told me the next one he was on was like a vacation compared to ours.
So we got a lot of, because they got a lot of food. We got a lot of food in the beginning of mine, and that part was so easy. Totally chill. The food makes the food is what makes the biggest difference.
The food makes difference because you can't think straight when you're not eating.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you, Jose. Appreciate the
You
question.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Debbie.
Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
Glad to see you.
Yeah, I do.
She's on mute right now, though. Just give her a second. There she is.
Erik, where are you?
There she is.
Parking lot.
Erik, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, man, this is fun.
There she is. Oh, but she was there for a second.
Debbie.
We can't hear you.
Can't hear you. Just no.
No. I have her unmuted.
Oh, Debbie.
I'm gonna go ahead and bring someone else in while she's figuring it out.
Send me your question, Debbie, and I'll put it up there.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my phone now.
It might take a minute to connect her sound, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring someone else. We'll bring in. Hey, John.
Look at our flags.
What's up, John?
Yeah.
A lot of familiar faces out there. I wanted to give you guys the full scope. You've seen a lot of this stuff.
Yes.
Events. But here's the whole deal. Hey, Todd, you'll
You torture me every time with this stuff. Stop it.
Look at
that. You're killing me.
How cool.
Denise, I know you love it.
I love you, Dan. Yeah, you
That's
fucking me every
that's a
time,
voting
John.
There, yeah, there's the Art of War hanging there.
Oh, that was a really awesome prop.
Yeah, there's the tribe flags behind me.
Freaking A.
Oh my god, I'm freaking out. This is so cool.
That is amazing. How
And
many?
there's Peih-Gee, you're over here, and Erik and Jamie and Todd, you've got yours, right?
I've got my torch, yes.
Nice.
Look at the paddle. Oh my god. Do you guys remember on the very first day we paddled in circles for hours?
Yep.
Yes.
Cool.
Yours is there too, except for your necklace that you have, right?
Yes, you gave that to me and I love it. Thank you.
Oh my god.
I got almost all the things that were hanging off the torches at my house.
Yeah, freaking Denise went around cutting all of that Set off the torches.
You know that's true.
So I
I'm not
was
gonna lie.
when you were talking, Eric, and I was wondering who that one lone vote in there was all that time. I've never gone back and looked, but there it is.
Votes? Oh my God.
So cool. Oh my gosh.
I didn't know they came with the votes too.
Yeah, he brought that up to Maine when we were up at the Durham Challenge, man.
Hey, can we see them again? I want to see my handwriting.
Okay.
Jamie, isn't that yours that's underlined?
That's not me. Who's that?
That's my vote.
That's you?
Yeah, that's me.
See, there's a question for when they diction, and this was a
So
question.
that's Denise?
Show me.
Is that you, Denise?
That's
Okay.
James.
I voted for Courtney. What does it say,
Yeah,
Courtney?
Wait, what's
That
crossed out? What's crossed out on that one?
He spelled it wrong.
Was that it?
Yeah, that one's mine right there.
Got me.
Like
Hey,
Leslie.
is it a CR? Is that what he has?
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts out with CR. And then one Amanda.
It's over there to your
Hey.
left.
Yeah, Jamie, you put the smiley face in the O.
Oh, yeah, that's mine with the O.
Hmm.
It's in the front. You see it? It's behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was it. I just wanted to share the whole display with you guys. I've shown you pieces of it at various places. So
Freaking love
Thank
it.
you.
So amazing. Thank you
Very
so
cool.
much.
all right, guys.
I don't know. He outbid me on like 100 things. Fuck him. No, just kidding. I love you, John.
Denise.
I love you, man.
Thanks,
John,
John.
how many do you have?
How many?
How many torches?
We had pancakes together at Bob. Bow-tie Bob's house.
I think I'm probably somewhere around 150 now.
Torches?
Torches?
Yeah.
Holy
Ah.
Holy shit.
My wife doesn't think it's so funny, but
See, Boston Robs just went for like 15 grand or something for
crazy.
Winners Awards. That's insane.
yeah, this is becoming my retirement plan now. It wasn't designed to be that, but it is now. I'm telling you.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow.
Crazy. I mean, not crazy in a bad way, crazy in a cool way.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Good seeing you all. Thank you.
Thank you for showing us.
Hey, John. Goodbye. Thanks a lot, John. Appreciate it. Hey, I got not Denise's, Debbie's question on my phone here real quick. So if we want to go back to Debbie real quick. Her question was
He's gone.
two-part thing, huh? Okay.
He's gone.
Oh, John's gone. The question was, she was going to ask Pete in the episode 11 reward challenge, what were your reasons for choosing Erik and Denise?
I had to take Erik because he did my ally for so long. Like I couldn't not take him, so I feel like that's fairly obvious. I took Denise because I felt like we could work together. So I wanted to bring her along and like show her a good time and like spend some time like bonding and chatting and talking to her. Like she seemed like the one most likely to be receptive to working with me.
Great. I was gonna have Denise actually give a black belt performance for us tonight. Is that good?
If I had more room, maybe, man. But no, I mean, I was under the assumption too that James had made a secret alliance deal with you guys over there on when he got switched over and made you promises that like I would go with you guys, and then you picked me, and I was just like, thank you for picking me because I was so excited. And then afterwards you were like, oh wait, now you owe me, and I was like, I'm sorry, but yeah, but I still love you because now I think that it's all worked all this way out, and now I think we're friends.
I will say also, I knew that Amanda, Courtney, and Todd were in a final three.
Right.
So like, I feel like I don't remember where, but like I feel like I knew that they were three and you were probably their four. So my thing was like, why be four when you could maybe be three?
Right. Exactly. And we had discussed that earlier too, and I agree with you. But like I said before too, believe me, I would have went with you guys in a heartbeat. But I knew, even if I got to the three, I would still be three. So 3 out of 4 maybe, but I knew you were gonna win. You know what I mean?
You guys had the
It was
coolest.
hard. It was such a hard choice. I still wanted to be the one that won, and I think that I had the best chance of going against the guys that I was facing, being against Courtney and Todd, and even though Amanda pulled it through, I still think that a lot of her decisions were based on a lot of a group decision more than a personal one-person decision.
We have a guest here with a question. Hello. The Survivor hat.
Jessica.
Hi.
Hi, Jessica. Oh my God, my Survivor hat just broke. I'm really sad.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's really good for quarantine when, you know, you don't have to do your hair. You just put a hat on. So it's pretty. So my question was, one of the things that I really liked about Winners at War that they brought up in the editing was how they transitioned to life after the show. So I was wondering, even though it's been a while, how was that for you all, and kind of what do you still take from it today?
Did anybody have trust issues afterwards? Like they talked about?
Yeah.
I felt weird, like being around people for a little bit. It was weird. I just didn't feel comfortable for a little bit.
I kept wanting to take firewood. I'd like walk around. I'd be like, ooh, that looks like a good piece of firewood. I'm like, you don't need that
I hoarded food. I would hide like brownies and stuff in like nooks and crannies in my bedroom, like because I was afraid people would eat them.
I've been doing that now in quarantine. Hoarding food.
I think the hardest thing is like people's perception when you like. Even now, we try not to tell people we're on Survivor when we meet new people, because people just automatically have like a different perception about you when they hear that, no matter what. Like, I feel like people just look at you differently.
Yeah. For me, it was hard because I had been in a Christian bubble for so long, and Survivor kind of busted that bubble. And I had a really hard time trying to figure out how to live that Christian life with all the information that I had. I learned a lot from these people that you're seeing right now. Like, they've taught me so much about life and so much about love. And it's been it was really hard for me. And it was hard because this was a dream of mine for like 5.5 years. I tried out 11 times. And when it happened and it was over, I was like, oh crap, now it's over. Now what do I do? What do I dream about? You know? And so I kind of had to go through a little bit of that. But I think the faith crisis for me was probably the biggest thing I took from it. It was hard to trust. I think I got very cynical about my faith for a while, just kind of mad at the church, because all of you know, I talked to probably all of you. Jamie and Erik, I think we talked about Christianity because we were all there, and Sherea. But those of you who were not, you would tell me what your thoughts were about people in the church, and it was heartbreaking to hear the judgment and the cruelty and the things that you guys went through. And so for me, coming back to that, I was like trying to defend you. Like, I was mad at everybody for the way they treat people. And so I kind of went cynical, and it was really scary. But I'm in a good place now, but it did take me a while to figure that out.
I think too, the editing drove me. I never watched our season in full because I didn't like to watch it edited. So I've never watched it. I think past the 3rd episode.
Really?
Yeah, I got so worried that it was gonna ruin my real memories. Like, I didn't know if then all of a sudden my memories would be the edited version or if they'd be the real version, and it freaked me out. And I realized like it was pretty heavily edited on a few occasions in the first few episodes, so I just stopped watching. So I actually never watched our season.
I think we got off relatively lucky in a way because our season was early, so there wasn't as much intense backstabbing and lying and people changing alliances and all of that as there are in newer seasons. I think a lot of people that come out of the newer seasons end up with a lot of trust issues and PTSD because of that. I think on our season,
and social media too.
Yes, we were pretty lucky that when in our game, because it was relatively straightforward, if we were like, we're in an alliance, we pretty much were, and you didn't necessarily feel like you were backstabbed by people you were aligned with. You know what I mean? Like, so we came off really lucky in that regard, I think.
Great question. Great question. I like that. Well, I like them all, but you know. We're missing something really important here, by the way, Erik. I've been meaning to ask you about this the whole time. You know, Denise can't do the black belt demonstration right now, but Erik, if you could do the a goat impersonation. That would be fantastic.
Oh man,
Do
is
it?
that on national TV?
Yep.
Erik.
Still got it. Still got it.
Got it.
Still got it.
Oh,
Hey, that was unrehearsed too. Not bad, right?
Not bad at all.
I got to put you on the spot.
No warm up even.
Yeah, no warm up.
Well, thanks again, Jessica. And it looks like we have Dan here with the next question. If he comes unmuted here. Oh, there he goes.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
Dan.
Hi, Denise. I've met you a couple times.
Yes, we have, man. I've hugged you.
Thank you all for doing this. This is great. I guess my question would be if you could pick one favorite memory and one least favorite memory from your season or from your experience there, what would it be?
Who wants to start?
I'll start. I mean, I got stories all over the place, but my favorite memory there, honestly, was one day when I was walking with Denise. We were out on a back path, and I had told my tribe about my love of four-leaf clovers. And like, I was like, I just feel like they're just so beautiful, and there's such a great picture of like the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and me linked up with them. And I was like, I feel like we're going to find one here. And so we're on this back path, and I was I think I annoyed Denise because I was so like Pollyanna, and to be honest, I annoy myself when I look back, but I was so excited because I looked down and I found a four-leaf clover, and then I looked up and there was like thousands of them. Denise, you remember, right?
Yo, absolutely. Yes,
I was so freaked out.
You
I
were so excited.
I
know.
And I took it back. And I was like, my God is above and beyond everything, and I am he's so good to me, and he showed me a field of clovers, and she was just like, oh my gosh, this woman has to get out of here. And
yeah. I had a whole sack full of snails. I'm bringing four-leaf clovers, one for everybody. We're so excited.
Oh, I was so excited. I was like, you guys. And they were like, did you find food? I was like, no, I found something better. You don't say that on Survivor. That's a stupid thing to say. And so I gave them all a four-leaf clover. And I was like, you guys, look, I told you. And they all like popped it in their mouth. And like, I went, oh my gosh. So the producers, of course, called me aside. They're like, well, how did it make you feel when they ate the four-leaf clover? And I was like, but it was still a good memory. It was fun. You guys better find it last in Survivor. I was like, probably it was bad.
It's the little things.
I think my favorite memory was after the merge feast when we were all hammered on that snake.
Yeah.
Remember that?
So much fun.
They gave us these bottles, and there were snakes in the bottles with Everclear. And so pretty much like the Everclear and the snake, I don't know, they make a potent shot, is all I know. And we hadn't eaten or drank any alcohol while we were out there, and we got like hammered, probably like one of the drunkest I've ever been. And we came back to the what's it called?
Bamboo tree
camp. And we decided to have a sing-along, and we were singing gangster rap songs, like straight up like Dr. Dre
and Disney,
like Tupac. And then all of a sudden we broke out in Disney tunes. And we sang Disney tunes for like hours, and we got in trouble because I guess the songs are copyrighted, so they're not allowed to like show them. But we did not stop. We were like, who knows Lion King? And then we just started singing Lion King. And it was so much fun. That was like my favorite memory, I think.
I remember that too because I was underage for the show, so they wouldn't let me drink. I remember by the merge, everybody was like sneaking me like drinks behind the back. Denise, and Todd, and Jamie, and it was just so. It felt like really like a big party, for the first time because everyone was like, we were all on the same team in that sense. We're all there together, and like everybody wanted to hook me up with a drink because they wouldn't give it to me. So
remember, I emptied out my water can.
It was a strategy for us. We weren't really trying to help you.
I brought the alcohol back to the camp. You remember that?
Yeah, I think the rice wine stuff was so good.
I had it in my canteen. And I snuck it back because they never checked me any times. I brought back pistachios. I had like a whole sock full of pistachios. I had cherries one time. I had like the snake one. I had a banana. I had a sandwich I had, like all kinds of stuff. I brought everything back.
Y'all went on a lot of rewards.
I did. I was crazy. It was crazy.
What's your favorite
so
memory,
awesome.
Todd?
What's that?
I have so many. Like, there was a moment where me and Frosti, I remember, were like doing some evil plotting, and like he threw this like Asian pear up, and I caught it, and it just looked so like sly and so good, and like I don't know. That was fun. I loved the merge feast night. That was amazing. I loved going and laying out by Adult Swim, like our swimming pool, or that's the lake, and pretending we were in Tahoe. When you guys would have me paint on you, like paint designs. That was always fun. Impressions was fun. I don't know.
Impressions is awesome. I was like, do me.
I remember that. A lot of really, really good times.
That's great.
What was yours, Sherea?
Oops, sorry.
I think that I had, well, I'll go back, take it early on the game. Like, one of my favorite memories is us kind of just getting to know each other. And the day we were out there dancing and not building a shelter like we should have been.
Sherea, do you remember me, you, and Ashley cuddling the first night?
Yes.
That's my favorite memory of Ashley.
On the ground.
We were laying on the ground together, me, Ashley, and Sherea, and we were like huddled up, and Dave was creeping us out, and so was Chicken. And Ashley, that's the first time I got to know her, like outside of her WWE like facade, and she was this. Remember just telling us about her life, and she was like a little girl, so excited, and it was just like. That was my favorite memory of her out there.
Yeah, those first couple of days, although they were rough, we still had some good times just kind of trying to get to know each other and learn about each other. So those are probably my favorite memories. I mean, my worst was probably my argument with Dave, because that definitely, I felt like I was in a good place, you know, with you all, you, Erik, all of you guys, but I think that moment you guys didn't know what to do with me in that moment. And I think I had just kind of reached my breaking point with Dave, and I was just like, I'm done. Like, just leave me alone, basically. So that was probably one of the moments that I kind of regret, because I didn't want to go there. But I mean, what can you do? You're hungry, you're tired, and you're frustrated.
It was the worst to live with, let me tell you.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Y'all remember we called him Concave Dave because his balls were concave?
Oh, is that why?
Wait, what is?
Oh my.
Well, no, forget it. I don't need to know.
Right, I'm like, you don't need to know.
I don't want to know. Forget it.
I do remember that nickname.
I remember him dropping trow in that one challenge, and I was like, dang, why don't they have the blurry spot when you're like, you know, actually filming? It's only when you see it on TV.
I remember when he asked us, he was like, do you think that I should go naked? Will that scare them? And I was like, that's the worst idea, but I was like, I want to see you do that. So I was like, yeah, you should.
I remember so mad. James threw him off.
You remember when me and you got cussed out by the that lady producer?
Who?
For what?
For talking off camera.
We were always talking off. We were always getting in trouble for talking off camera.
Like, she screamed at me, like she was like in my face screaming at me. That was like my worst memory. I was like, because I couldn't do anything. And I was so mad. I just had to sit there and let her scream at me.
And Peih-Gee, I think, actually Erik too, but Erik's sideways or going to the store. But Peih-Gee, how about you? What's your favorite and or least favorite moment?
Oh God. I think one of my favorite moments was probably the first time we won any challenge. It was that one where the girls were fighting on the boat.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, we're not going to lose everything. That's awesome. Like, I was like, we're actually going to maybe be able to do something and not lose every single challenge. And so
it's because Jeff Frost kept yelling at me. You can't use your legs. You can't use your arms. Stop doing that. Just let him roll you over. Like, seriously, dude. You know,
well, I think it was a really close one, and so I think that's why, like, I was like, we were able to win something, and so that really lifted your spirits and getting to go back. I wish we'd gotten food, but it was nice getting a tart. Right. So that was, you know, for me that was really fun.
How's it going?
Eric, we can't see you.
No, I'll answer for Eric. Eric's answer is that he met James.
Yeah, I'm on. I'm driving, but I'll share. Gosh, it's so hard to really pinpoint. You guys have really great memories talking about that merge feast. You guys, I mean, gosh, you pretty much covered all the highlights. But I think it had been, especially for Jean Hu. I mean, gosh, I feel like we had it so rough prior to that. We were never winning challenges. We were just like losing weight. It seemed like we couldn't catch a break.
Yep.
And that was really the first time we ate. I mean, so it was just a glorious day for us to eat. And then I think, in addition to that,
Remember when they lined us on the beach and made you empty your pockets?
yeah, that was horrible.
Yes.
Yeah, right. And everybody was trying to eat after they stepped on all the food.
Yeah, we were like, what do you
Ended up
mean we earned this? Like, you already gave it to us. You can't take it back away from us.
They took it back.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they stepped on everything, and people were trying to pick it up after they guys. That was terrible.
John, do you guys remember when we went on strike for a whole 24 hours? It was the first time in Survivor history a tribe went on strike.
That's how Breakfast Mike got his name.
Yeah, so we decided that we were so pissed off that they did not feed us and that the tribes were so unfair that we were going to strike. So we called it SOS Day, Survivors on Strike, and we refused to speak. So none of us, we all laid on the bamboo and we did not talk for 24 hours. The producers were livid. They were like yelling and like, you guys have to do something. We're like, and James was with us. He's like, no, we don't. We're like, we're with James. We're not doing damn thing. We did not do anything for a whole day.
Oh, you breakfast. You eat you for breakfast.
Yeah, and then he kept scaring the one producer, telling him he was going to eat him for breakfast.
Breakfast Mike. I'm going to call you Breakfast Mike because I want to eat you for breakfast.
And I think Mike thought that James was going to try to eat him.
He really would have, too. I believe it. I've seen that guy. He
James had
lays in the
hungry
bed at
eyes.
night, like with a
Very
knife
hungry eyes.
and some apple fruit or something, sleeping and eating freaking things all night with a knife on his chest. It scared the shit out of us.
Okay, just ahead. We
Frosti, what were you thinking that day when we stopped talking? Did you think we were going to get in trouble?
I think Sherea and I were already traded at that point because you had James on your team.
Yeah.
So we were already at the
You
other
were there,
place.
right?
I barely remember. Yes.
Okay, so we are now currently well overtime. You know, we're about half an hour overtime. But I was wondering if you guys would like to do 2 more questions from fans, and then we can wrap it up for that. Does that sound fair? Or is that...
Yeah.
Sure.
I actually only have one more question.
But
I have one too.
It's my stepdad's birthday, so I can really quick, but I have to get going to a dinner.
Okay.
Sure.
So Erik is coming up here. Maybe.
Thanks, Dan.
So you had a question?
Yes, thank you, Dan. Sorry.
Oh, it didn't work.
Did Dan have another question?
I was trying to promote somebody that didn't accept. I think Leslie knows who that is.
Who it could be?
So Erik, are you? Oh, Eric's
Never mind. They're not accepting.
Okay.
It was Eric's mom.
Okay.
She disappeared now.
Yeah, she's very shy though.
Okay, well, I have one legit question.
Hello.
One question then. I actually, again, I posed this to Leslie last week when I was watching through.
Just come sit here.
No, now obviously now we have all these immunity idols, hidden people just running around, grabbing them out of trees and stuff. But your guys' season had the most vague possible clues for those 2 hidden immunity idols for the whole season and all that. Leslie, how did you feel? Watched back the series, saw yourself talking about the idol with your first clue being directly underneath the extra.
I told Todd, I said, it's probably up there somewhere. And he was like, no, I doubt it. And we just kept looking. We literally were so close to, I'm so mad at myself.
I was really pissed. I was pissed watching that back, watching Todd and Frosti up there getting that. Like, we were literally right there. I felt so silly. Like, how could I not see or pay attention to what they were doing? I was pissed after watching. I mean, it was like literally right there.
That was very discouraging. It was, but I only had the one. So.
That it was just the bat. We kept trying to tear the little bat on the corner off, not the whole plaque. That was the confusing thing.
Is that still the largest idol to date?
It was huge.
How do you hide that thing? It's like the size of a picture frame. I remember too, like I didn't even know there were idols in the game. And one day Jamie was like, "Do you notice there's something missing from the arch?" And I was like, "Whatever." Like I'm like, "I guess. I don't know." Like it probably just fell. I'm like, who cares? Like.
Hi, Denise.
You can just slide it in the lean-to, and nobody will ever see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
And now they get like 10 idols a game. I mean, and they're just like, damn.
Everybody gets one except for Sherea. And then she goes home.
You don't even need a clue. You just go look. It's that's stupid.
Yeah. It looks like Denise is here. Denise, are you here for a question?
She's just here. Let's all celebrate Denise. Yay, we love Denise.
Yay.
Actually, she was on Survivor China because she came for the family visit, right?
Yeah.
Yes, she was.
That's Erik's mama.
Yeah, and she made friends with my husband.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
Denise, Erik's mom.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I had to yell at your ear.
We used to live just like 10 minutes away from each other and we'd have lunch all the time. I miss her.
So sweet.
She's very sweet.
Nice people.
Give it another few seconds here. Just a couple of quotes I wanted to get. If Denise is coming in or not. A couple of quotes I had. I had Jean Robert calling out Todd early on in the game as devious and smart. I love that.
Played every trick in the book.
I had Jamie, Aaron calling Jamie a spot of sunshine. and I was telling Sherea before we started talking, one of my favorite things was her talking with Dave and saying, "Did you not hear what's coming out of my mouth?"
Not hear the words that are coming out of my mouth.
Back up off of me.
Back up off of me. Yes.
Friends will not let me live that down to this day.
And then of course,
I just wanted to save those shells for my mom. Like, can I have my shells back? That was honestly the funniest day.
I got Jean Robert and his creepiness saying $1 million and some ass. You know? Todd saying Dave is a nutcase.
Is Sherea
in real life too.
Traveled to China with that guy, and I
real
sent
life.
a letter to Mark Burnett, and I said, "I am so glad you didn't film us doing that because you would have seen a whole different Sister Christian. Like Dave drove me out of my mind.
He's the poor man's Timothy Oliphant.
I love him, but he was annoying. He was like a little brother that like won't quit.
Who didn't want?
Yeah.
I still love about Denise. A strong, good woman. I've already brought that one up. But then saying that if you were a few years younger, he'd date you. Yeah.
What a doing. He would have been the lucky one.
Jean Robert making himself the self-proclaimed bad boy. Yeah. Frosti bringing in the ninja buffs. Ninja buffs.
Yes.
I'm still mad there was no obstacle course for Frosti.
Yeah.
One of the first challenges.
Me too.
The first one, when James told me, man, you got the, what did you say, the man muscles?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was
What
that? That quote, Frosty? You remember?
Yeah, I mean, I think I did earn a little bit of James's respect that day because he then continued to beat the shit out of me for the next few weeks.
Shit, man. When you gave him a run for the money on that first day, he was impressed with you.
But like Frosty can like fly, like literally like a human being flying, and I just was very upset that that was never shown.
Oh,
I mean, that first one when he jumped across leaped across the bridge to unhook this stuff.
That was the closest thing I think we got to see.
Hey, and at least they got a really cool shot with that one time that he got.
Exactly right. That was a good challenge there.
I got two more good quotes. Courtney about Todd. He's a slippery little sucker.
I remember that.
I think she actually repeated that in Final Tribal too.
Yeah.
And then the last quote that I have, which I loved, was Jamie about Erik. It says, "I definitely see him as a friend even after the game."
Aww.
That's funny.
Hey, Jason, you left out the bunch of bitches.
Oh, well, yeah, but I didn't want to. Saying
Todd.
Enough, yeah. Okay, so unless Erik's mom is on here, are you able to microphone?
Observing.
Yeah, she's not.
I talked to her earlier. She's very shy. She just wants to observe. She's just
It's okay. I didn't want to skip her.
son and daughter-in-law.
Well, what I'd like to say to all of you is thank you so much for being here and being a part of this. You know, again, the funds that are raised tonight by the attendees, and thanks to all the attendees for coming in and paying for a spot in here. I apologize if we didn't get to your questions or anything like that, but all of the funds go to Give Kids the World. And if you're not familiar with it, it's a fantastic charity. Omar holds the Hearts of Reality event every August in Orlando. And then this year he's also going to do one in December in LA. He is he's got a ton of stuff going, ton of people going. If you haven't already.
Damn.
Yeah, Marco says
That's
you gotta do damn.
just posted that because that was awesome.
Omar is
Shout out to my friend Chick.
he gets all this stuff going. I'm one of the fans that I'm trying to do what I can to raise money as well. No, it's the truth. Omar kills it. But
Omar's awesome.
It wouldn't be possible if it weren't for folks like you to help out. And Big Kids of the World is near and dear to my heart. I really love it, and I hope to see you there. If you haven't been before. And if
it is so much fun. If you guys have not gone, whoever's watching, come.
Yeah.
I know.
I think that all of the China cast here should try to make it in August in Orlando.
Well, Leslie's doing LA, but
I'm doing the
okay.
LA one in December, so I can't do it because I have to drive my daughter back to college all the way across.
LA, we'll go to Disneyland and hang out.
I'm
I'm
going.
trying to go to both of them this year. Both of them, baby.
Nalia from Survivor 4 and I are going to drive together and make it a girls trip.
Nalia's my home girl.
I love her.
Yeah, she's the best. And anyhow, but what I just want to say though is again, thank you so much for this. What I'm going to do very shortly here is I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. But if you all want to say any last words to the fans that have entered in here or anything like that, the floor is yours. And after that, I'll stop the recording. We'll kick out the fans, and then you guys can chat as long as you want, kind of thing. So if you want to say any goodbyes or thanks or whatever, anything like that.
Thank you so much for supporting.
Thanks for still being fans of China.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Great
Please
questions.
be safe.
Really fun questions. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording, and we'll go from there.